compared to what I used to be. I don't think I used to be, but
Yeah.
I think I am now.
So we're
Hello,
talking about
everyone.
socially awkward situations. Yeah, we're live. I just hit the button instead of counting down for you. Tonight we're
That's all
trying
right. That's all right.
a little something different, and sort of how we do it. We hope that you have your journals ready because we are going to um, give you some homework tonight. These are experimental readings for me on the conscious side, and for
Hi,
Hershey.
Mo.
Hello, how
So
are
we're
Mo
doing
and
blind spot reads.
so I don't think that they're blind. The last practice reading I did for the poet, it's it's more of a comfort zone. It's it's where they like to be,
Absolutely.
even though it may be
Yep.
uncomfortable for others around them.
100%. I agree.
Still hot in Houston, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's draining. It's draining, like just totally draining.
The poet was an archetype card that I was pulling for tonight's readings as part of practice. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Ramon's interview with Gerald is still going on. Well, we're gonna
I,
step over
you,
people
Miles
inadvertently.
already informed me. Thank you, Maruta. Hello, beautiful. How are you, my rock?
Yeah, it just maybe a few of our regulars are still there. We don't have any times that are uh, reserved solely for us. I mean, everybody is creating content independently on YouTube, but we have been at this same spot and same time on Wednesday nights for a while. So,
Over a year.
you know, I
Over a
I
year.
don't
I'm not
care
giving it up.
if people don't know my schedule because I certainly don't keep track of their schedules. Um,
Nope.
unless it's Hershey and I because we do a lot of co-creation together.
Absolutely. So tonight is not an easy night. So if you read the description, thank you for that. But I hope you do have your journal because there is homework tonight, guys. I will be doing the blind spot in your subconscious, and Thomas will be doing either in either you're gonna be in two different slots in your present conscious, right? You're either gonna be in an intentional denial or you're absolutely in your comfort zone. Either way, it's patterns that need to be broken. Comfort zones in this situation in shadow work, they are not a good place to be. So please don't misunderstand this kind of comfort zone. This is a defense mechanism. So, this is a challenge for Thomas as well to read on tonight. We're all trying to be transparent, right? So, Thomas feels his team pushing him towards intuition a lot more, telling his story, being more organic and more transparent. So, you guys, if you want to try the read tonight, again, we this is what we do on Shadows. We do it all together, right? We work through it what we can comfortably put out there on public internet, right? That's not in a closed one-on-one session. So tonight is going to be a little uncomfortable because Thomas is going to need a few minutes to really look at what this energy is and where is it actually sitting at. We might not like where the scales weigh us out at, but this is where the shadow work, the journaling really, really helps us take it from us holding control and recognizing something maybe we can't see within ourselves because we do it so often and so frequently that we do not see it in our current present situation. The subconscious is pretty easy. I've actually got it pretty easy tonight, guys. I'm just checking your blind spot back there. But you know how it is with that blind spot. If I see something there and the energy's wrong, I'm going to look into it. So let's hope that all of our blind spots are mainly just kind of rechecks and self checks and, just personal awareness. But if I see something, I'm absolutely going to say something. So if you guys would like a read, go ahead and put me in the comments section like we do every Wednesday.
I haven't seen one yet, but
That's
maybe
okay.
our brave viewers are occupied elsewhere. But the four that are here, thank you, thank you, thank you.
We greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much. Because clearly you could have been anywhere else, but hey, you're here with us. So that's what lets me know that there's something that you'd like to maybe or need to maybe hear. So Thomas was doing a couple of proof prep reads, practice reads, and that last one was pretty deep, especially for that archetypes. While we're just waiting on me's, why don't you crack the book open and see what it says the archetype keywords are for poet?
Yeah, well, I got to remember what his um, number was. I believe he was 7. Yep, he was 7. So the poet, his work is to feel immensely and not be afraid. The poet energy is present. It's a call for deep honesty and reflection. And it's between the personal and the universal. The poet's work is never finished. Find your voice and trust that the world will carry it. So say your poem,
Hmm.
write it down, uh, and hopefully the currents and the eddies in the world will move it towards other people who want understanding like the poet has.
I like it. All right, we do have our first me, and it's Michelle, and she would like for you to start with the archetype. We always start with the conscious first, and that's what Thomas is doing. He's doing the 1 and 2, and I'm doing the blind spot and the energy of the blind spot. So I'm doing 3 and 4. Thomas is doing 1 and 2, and I'm doing 3 and 4. Michelle. Blind spot from Michelle.
I don't know. I might be torn on this, Michelle. Which, if you're denying one thing, or if you're comfortable in the other. Wow. Okay. Um, I may need a yondom to decide this one. It's close, but
Uh-uh.
then again, I know too much about you, Mo. Hmm. I'm going to go with intentional denial. With the archetype of the pilgrim, and without even reading the pilgrim, pilgrims came to this country for religious freedom to believe how they wanted to, how to celebrate the religion without persecution, without any other intervention from government or oppression. Um, and it took a lot of strength to pull up from the familiar, make a journey across the ocean in little rickety boats, uh, and pull up on the shores of this country at the time. Um, but our oracle card are not a unicorn oracle. It says it's not a dragon, it's a swing. And this girl is got ropes attached to um, what appears to be the whiskers, the handlebar mustache, is providing a rope for the swing, and the swing says choice. Is it a good choice to swing on mustaches of dragons? I don't know. You'd have to be very, very friendly with this dragon to do that. So I think being a pilgrim was definitely a choice, and part of blind faith in yourself and in all those around you, that you could be a community together in a strange land and make a go of it, and practice your religion how you see it. It says for the pilgrim, an outward journey is always an inward journey. This archetype wanderer seeks wisdom, experience, and the meaning in the farthest reaches of the globe and the deepest regions of the spirit. The pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion where there is motion. There is freedom, expansion, and growth. The pilgrim at your side will never lack courage, nor do you need every amenity because he travels light. Travel soon, your spirit needs it. So I think you're denying yourself a journey um, that you're making a choice to deny, but the opportunity is there to be a trailblazer if you want. And that's what I have for my cards, Mo.
Well, there's literally one specific reason this card is coming up, right? This isn't one of those cards. Yes, sir. Can I help you? Ronnie, sir. Sir Ronnie. Yes, Sir Ronnie. I'm talking right now. Can you give me a few? Okay, thank you. Okay, I please just a few. Okay, I promise I won't take too long. So you got sigil number 61. 61 is temporarily, right? So this means that something that is happening right now is leading you to a tower moment, baby. Something that was not temporary is becoming temporary. They paired it with the tower. I need you to understand. I think this has a whole lot to do with your faith because they led me to a very, very specific part of this. And this is where they want me to read it from, but they also want you to know who it's coming from. So it's literally coming from source, their self, right? This message has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than you listen. Most people believe that faith is the absence of doubt. This could not be farther from the truth. We only think that faith is the absence of doubt when we confuse faith with knowing. To doubt is to have uncertainty about something. Faith cannot exist in any universe if certainty becomes knowing. We wouldn't need it. Faith is not required when we know. So, if doubt is uncertainty, then doubt is necessarily a huge condition of faith. The sigil has found you because there's something that you seek. Trust, it's not in this physical world. Sometimes you hold yourself back by fixations of an aspect that must be tangible and or physical. It's like focusing on that one tree when you forgot to see the whole forest in front of you. Something in life and space itself is about to change. Your energy in this sigil that comes directly from source, and it is going to literally walk you straight into a tower moment. It's going to wake you up about something that's challenging you, pulling at your heartstrings, or mainly making you think, well, that can't be possible. It's a they'll remove all of that. There is a huge understanding and flowering about to happen within you after the tower, not before, honey. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This tower moment sounds like it's going to hurt like a whole lot of MFs. It doesn't sound like it's going to be friendly when they themselves are insisting that it happens. So something is about to test your faith, is what it looks like. Prepare as much as you can, but just know you can't fully prepare for everything because you can't imagine what it is, right? Don't try to either. Let it happen. What will be. And that's what I've got for you, sweetie.
And Madame Maruda and her house of cards.
The cicadas are so loud. I swear to God, it sounded like I had a cicada and crickets in my bedroom last night. I'm like, oh my God. I had to turn my TV to like 10 or some shit or 11. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. But they heard you, Ronnie. You little badass little boy. Where'd you go? Oh, somewhere being still. Let me behave too then.
Maruda, I think this comfort zone is where you're at and what habit needs to be broken. We have the archetype of the mountain, and mountains do grow over time, but they're not glacially slow because glaciers move 10 feet a year. Mountains may only move centimeters in a millennia. So on the geological time scale, um, you may not start as a mountain, but when the two plates grind together and you get heaved up in the air, it's a gradual heave. You're not thrown up in the air like a volcano or anything like that. You're just gradually piling on more and more and more, and the matter beneath you, because of the grinding and the pushing, gets solidified into the rock. So you are immovable. I think with that comes with like trustworthy. Um, your friends can depend on you and knowing how you will be, because this mountain has been there forever and ever and remains true to itself. The oracle card that we have for Are Not a Unicorn is it's not a centaur, it's a fighting spirit. How can a mountain be a fighting spirit? Well, gravity fights that mountain all the time. Everest is 26 miles above sea level, and the Marianas Trench is 28 miles below sea level. Well, it's a lot easier to exist down low, sea level or below, than it is to be heaved up into the air. Even though the higher you get, the less atmosphere there is, but you've got that column of atmosphere all the way down. So you are stoic, you are steadfast and true, and it's very hard for you to break habits because how can you move as a mountain other than slough off some dead skin and have a rock slide on the top. So I'll read what card number 33 is, our mountain. It's a place card, and it comes after the cave. It says, the mountain stands eternally in our awareness, calling us towards its peak. It begs people to climb it just because it's there. If you want to experience the pinnacle of the mountain, you have to climb and make an effort. The mountain can affect us in two ways. It can inspire and enliven us to rise to new heights and peaks of experience. Yet it can also create isolation, competitiveness, and inflated sense of self. No matter how high you ascend, remember that it is within the core of the mountain that the gems and the minerals and the jewels reside. If you think it's all about going up, you're following the fool's path and missing the miner's magic. And if you see here, these beautiful Kim Kranz cards, this watercolor mountain, in the heart of that mountain is that miner looking for the gems and the precious minerals. So I think, Maru, we have found a gem deep within that mountain of uh, unchangedness. I think you are so you are so solid. We know that the Maruta that was there yesterday for us is going to be the Maruta that's there for us today. But that fighting spirit, and it fights any injustices that come its way. So I hope everybody has a friend that is a solid rock like Maruta. And that's what I have for your conscious side. I put Hershe to sleep, or she's just still waking up from her nap.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. So I kind of like when I get the reversals, right? Because especially in this deck, it lets me know that this is either going to be an awareness, an alert, or a basic reminder of something, right? So first and foremost, understand that your sigil is number 38 and it's reacting, right? So when you think about reacting, most people react without thinking. They're like a gun going off. They shoot first and then ask questions, right? With yours being in reverse, this lets me know that you don't be so trigger happy, but it also lets me know that because it didn't fall out sideways, with it being completely up and down in the reverse position, this could be letting the universe know that there is a trigger in there, right? Triggers is something that we do when something's rational and we ourselves turn it irrational. So, what I really want you to understand is that there is something. You've got honesty and inspiration. And your inspiration And your inspiration is also an Ace of Wands. But what I want you to understand is with them placing it with this honesty card, this page of Pentacles, they really want you to realize that even though the Ace is being pro- fulfilled, right? It's being placed with a family card. When an ace comes with a family card, it's promise of fulfillment. But you have to realize that you got to work on that trigger. You've got celebrations in reverse and the temperance upright. So it's not saying there's not a happy celebration at the end of this. What I wants me to relay to you is that you have got some balancing to do before that celebration, right? You've got to understand that what comes has to be worthy of the celebration. Now, we all know that you're a pretty good person, but sometimes in our subconscious, us behind closed doors, we slack on our own self. I really, really, really don't think this is about people. I really do feel like this is something within yourself, right? Whether it's, the coping mechanism or it is a comfort zone, either way, it is something that is triggering. So make sure that you understand that you can absolutely stop allowing whatever it is to be your trigger, right? Just once you figure it out, you'll be able to avoid the energy altogether. But until you figure it out, just make sure that you continue to rationalize and don't make the decisions until all the dust is settled because it makes no sense to keep cleaning because you're not letting the dust settle all at one time. Think smarter, not harder. That's what I've got for you, babe.
That was delicious.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh my God, I have so many flaws. Look, I let me start counting the ways. Holy shit. Matter of fact, Thomas, how many ways can you count?
Yeah. Oh,
Ooh, more than
well,
I can shake a stick at.
I, I
You're
just
welcome,
know
brother.
I just know mathematical patterns. I still count 1, 2, 3, whatever language I do it in. Um, we have
Jane is
Harley
here.
that
She came in to say goodnight, didn't she? Did Jane? Yep, Jane's coming in to say goodnight. Everybody tell Jane how much they love her. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
good
Hi,
night,
Jane and
Jane.
Harley. Harley. Okie dokie.
I don't know that this is intentional desire or a comfort zone, but it is in the intentional denial spot. You have 52, which is a tool, and a lot of people wouldn't know that tears, uh, a teardrop, is a tool. Or am I reading this wrong, Hersey? Is it a tear and not a tear?
TEAR, tear.
Okay, so the tear 52 says tears are droplets of letting go. Tears are what are needed in order for a conversation or situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. This card appears when there is grieving yet to do, a sinking down into disappointment or despair that, once acknowledged, will bring a shimmer of clarity to our dewy eyes. And it is paired with the naughty unicorn. And this one says, it's not a horse, it is direction. So once you shed those tears and let go, um, the light of a new day, the feeling lightened of your burdens, and acknowledging the pain for what it is, you can find a direction to go, but it may be a lonely path because what you're shedding tears for might just be the person or the thing that is missing from your life now. So um, that's what I have for you. So I don't believe it's intentional denial, but it definitely can't be a comfort zone to cry uh, and start in a new direction. So that's where I'm being drawn for you, Harley, and that's on a conscious level, and a subconscious level. Hershe will read.
So y'all know y'all my gems, and I love you each individually, personally, and I do my best to have a personal relationship with each and every one of you. Then you reach out to me, or I reach out to you, and I try not to leave it on cliffhangers and stuff like that. Right? I give personal phone numbers out. I make myself available because I want people to know somebody's willing to listen, somebody's willing to help. Right? So Harley, I got two different blind spots for you, and they're literally gonna go hand in hand, but they're seriously, independently strong things that stand on their own, and they can literally run havoc in our subconscious, right? And it's in reverse, but this first one is automation, right? Something is just going, like auto. It's on like autopilot or some shit, right? You have got to figure out what to do to stop this autopilot, right? They paired it with burden. I want you to understand that this is something that is not just something that can be swept under the rug. You can't just sweep this out the door. This is residual, right? This is something that you do even though you may realize it. You are in a pattern state of mind when it comes to automation, right? When you're constantly doing the exact same thing and you do it expecting a different outcome every single time. That is a filter. That is automation. You need to literally stop that because it is hindering, not helping. As adults, we are already conditioned, we're already trained. Sometimes we have to be deprogrammed just in society by religion or our parents and friends to find the circumstances that must encounter our lives and change our style of life, right? Everything we believe in, everything that we root for deep within us. You need to understand you cannot put your life on autopilot. You can't break it up. You can't put it on autopilot. Life is never meant to be easy for an adult. You had all that easy shit when you was a kid. Doesn't I'm not saying everybody's childhood was easy. That's not what we're here for. What I'm saying is that's when the easy is, right? It's not right now when we are trying to have it easy for those last later years. And if we don't get some of this out of the way, it will follow us even into a place of rest. So make sure that you break that autopilot as soon as you start feeling that energy. This is not something that we do unconsciously. This is a conscious, active decision that we do subconsciously because we ain't got to deal with it. We don't want to deal with it. Take the power back. The other sigil that they want me to address is more like an awareness, right? And again, this is strictly just listen, right? So this sigil is enabling. So this one is all about thinking that you're helping when you're not. You're trying to control the situation by enabling the person and acting as if you're the only one that can, right? I'm not saying this is something you do with anybody or everybody, but what I'm saying is don't let people see you as this, right? This devil card, right? This is not where we want. We don't want to be the one that's trying so desperately to enable that person to where they become dependent on us. We don't want to enable the situation. We don't want that kind of weight to carry, because it is a position that you can't get out of once you get there. It's a crown that never comes off your head, and you'll wear it. It's like having a scar that you're so not ready to expose, and it exposes itself because it has to have all the power. So just make sure, like I said, this feels more like a reminder. Just remember, if you recently pulled yourself out of a situation like this, understand that it was meant for you to go through it so you can pay it forward with that information, but you don't have to live that mindful situation over and over and over again. You can literally stop allowing it to happen and make sure that you're not enabling any situation to get your way. And that's what I've got for you.
Okay, I got your question started, Rossy. And
Hi,
we did
Rossy.
Harley.
Hi, Michelle.
So Rossy, you just came in and you didn't know that you were going to be next, did you?
Oh, did she ask? No.
Rossy. Yeah. Rossy asked what hides the current. Me please if readings are open. So Rossy, on your conscious side, there might be an intentional denial of you being the archetype of number 6, the mentor. Now, you may not think that you're teaching people anything by going about your day-to-day life, but let me tell you that you are a mentor, coming into these reading rooms and participating in the chat and giving your knowledge to us all. So, what it says about number 6, the mentor, which has got an owl in flight on it. The mentor archetype has a gift for reading the room, for sensing that exact ingredient that will stimulate growth within the student. So I see that you read the tarot card reader rooms and know exactly what to say to teach lessons. The mentor may appear aloof or unavailable, harsh or tender, humorous or rigid. Their gift is to know what serves the soul. The mentor is in service of the greater cosmic good and aids in elevation of consciousness. Anytime the mentor forgets this humble link and mistakes themselves for the source of enlightenment, the archetype falls into the shadow. And we have 2 words. Again, I'm reading the Not a Unicorn Oracle, and it says not a bird, raven. And then we have the owl here. So we've got birds and um it says not a raven, omen. So birds have historically been seen as omens, but birds speak all day long to Hershe. The water birds fly over, the hawks fly over. Um, we don't see a lot of songbirds, but we know when the cardinal is around because we can hear the call. And she thanks Uni and she thanks the birds for flying over and letting her see them, because I think for Hershe that free as a bird, um, really resonates with her, because now she has freedom to do what she wants and is not um, confined by any walls or any place or any um, punishment that man is given. So I see her soul flying with the birds as they fly over, and I think that is probably what gave her hope during some very difficult times in Hershe's life. So Rossy, you just being in these rooms and um, coming here and participating and giving us your wisdom about crystal, your wisdom about decks, your knowledge about the cards. It is all truly appreciated. And I don't think that you see yourself as a mentor, but I think that you are a great mentor to more than just myself. And I thank you for that, Rossy. I didn't ask for your permission to give you as an example instead of myself.
I was about to say, well, thank you for that beautiful compliment. But look, if I am an example for something positive for anybody, I will take it. I don't have to hear it to feel that good energy and them good vibes. So thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I actually have I needed this. Blind spots get so heavy that sometimes I'll be like, man, I feel like I'm just always on them. Work, 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 work. And here it is. I got the mind frame of work and I've got my energy. And it shows me that you're making an impact, right? You are doing so good. Not to mention, when anybody says, Rossy, can you help me? Well, absolutely. And if it's within your means, within your bounds, you absolutely do it. You don't let anything hold you back. Continue to be that impact. People need impact wrenches, impact drills, impact hammers, impactive, positive. They need impact, right? There's not enough people doing this. There's not enough people that are just listening. I'm listening. I'm listening. Listening, right? I saw a reader today that engaged with her team as she relayed those messages, and all I could think of is, wow, that's beautiful. I love that impact. She is allowing them to be understood. They're here for a reason. They're here to help us, and we don't put them to work. We don't use them to help impact our lives, to help deliver that message. Then we're not allowing their full potential to come, and we're not taking advantage of ours. But when I get cards like this that are followed with the energy of the Two of Swords, which is restraint, that is blocking this Eight of Swords, oh, ain't no stuck in the head. Ain't no. You know what? It don't even matter. We ain't even gonna talk about that card. We're just gonna let that card be what it is, because you do have that restraint. You have that personal discipline. You know that without you, your world don't go round, right? It's not saying that you don't have help. It's not saying you don't have a team. It's not saying that you don't have support. It's saying that without you, your world don't go round. So you make sure that you are being impactful to everything that you put your beautiful little blessed hands on, your mind into. If you're walking towards it, you want it to be better. So you impact it so that it may impact you. So all I can say is keep doing what you're doing. You are doing so well. And it looks like your journaling is literally going to be about you imagining yourself as a child, and when you don't know what you're going to do, right? So for you, some journaling for you, since they're not literally giving you any, I'm going to give you some. I want you to go into your life and I want you to go back as far as you can, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter if it hurts, doesn't matter if it is the most beautiful memory you have and it gets you through all the bad ones. What I want you to do is I want you to completely envelop that energy and then remember it because when that mountain comes back that you have to climb, because everything is about the climb, use that energy that you're gathering up right now in your journaling and use it as a ladder to help you gain some momentum as you start approaching the next mountain that's coming on your path. That's what I've got for you, sweetie. But I have a question, Rossy. I have a question. How's the deck? How's it working? Have you been trying it, like just just to try it, or you know, you still letting it call you out? I have to know. If you got it handy, pull one for me. Let's see if it calls me out.
Well, thank you, Harley and Rossy, for letting us read for you.
Oh no, my throat is.
We have openings.
Well, I think that is tarot abuse, but I'll give you a pass because you're chasing that bag, but that's tarot abuse. That's tarot abuse. Something that exquisite should be played with daily.
uh, Rigid Willow brought up a word. Um, I wasn't so good about boundaries, was I, Hershey?
You mean your personal boundaries? I
Yeah,
mean,
or
specify.
expressing my need of having them, or um,
I don't think life itself made you stand on any of them. Like you would say you had them, but you never experienced life that made you challenge them. And I think life kind of showed you that there's a lot more get up and go in you than you thought, and it put you in situations to prove that those boundaries existed and that you knew how to respect them, so that you didn't continue to blur the lines. Is that what you were saying?
but well, I don't know. Now that we've got some heavier tools I need to use, I need to set up um, pro- protection boundaries, not emotional boundaries. I had all sorts of emotional boundaries. I pushed everybody in the world away from me with emotional boundaries, but personal protection boundaries. Um, um,
It's a whole different thing.
yeah, I mean these are physical boundaries, not just the sticks and stones kind of boundaries. Um,
Yeah,
so
I totally agree. I think I probably had a few of my own that I needed to do some reevaluation on. Maybe mine were a little too high, and I had to bring reality back in a schmidgen. I tend to live outside my britches when I can, just because I trust that nothing's gonna let me fall. And sometimes, life says, haha, and knocks the dang on legs right from under me. And as I'm sitting there looking up, going, ouch, I can't help but laugh and chuckle at not just myself, but the sense of humor that they found in the way they made sure I remembered. Like, don't get too cocky now. Like don't do that. So I I love challenging myself, and I have learned to get real comfortable within the boundaries of fate. And I've learned to not test neither of those. I keep my faith blind, and I keep my fate well within reach, so that I don't have to worry about getting prepared, because I'm usually staying prepared already.
well, rooted. Rooted Willow, I see. Um, I see that you're doing something. Uh, you just got out of one uh, lifestyle of sort of car camping for a while, so you can't let your guard down. Doing that, you got to be able to park in a well lit area or a safe area, or you got to have some systems in place for your safety, and it is you got to be hyper vigilant because you never know what kind of person is out there. Not everybody has everybody else's best interest at heart. So I see where you need to um, keep vigilant uh, and have those have your guard up all the time.
I mean, agree to disagree, but look, everybody needs to do what feels right to them. My boundaries, listen, they're so tight. Listen, they my shadow can't even get through my boundaries. I don't do them great big huge boundaries. I don't leave room for that shit to happen. You know, I stay present. Um I wanted to say, Rossy, I appreciate your frenemy comment for last week because, I like to keep perspective right there in the forefront for anybody and everybody. And if I get direct messages, it absolutely is 9 times out of 10. It's going to apply somewhere. You just have to understand the message is usually very, very, very diluted by the time it gets to someone like me, unless it is adamant that, you need to tell the universe, mask off. So, hey, Gerald, I heard you had a really good show. I'm really happy you did. I'm really happy you did that. But Rossi, I absolutely love it. And you're lucky that I don't have control of your deck names because that would be your deck names, Franemy. I'd make it funny or French or fantastically wonderful, but I like the word frenemy. It has a new perspective when you can find the humor in it. Hi, Linda. Thank you. So we've got a couple of minutes left, guys. I really just want to talk about what it means for each and every one of us, and I have to put me in dead smack in the center of all of this because I be still my heart. What the hell just happened here? It just got like 5,000 degrees. So right as Gerald was putting me in there, Miles was going, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did that. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Okay, Gerald. You about to get it. Oh, you ain't even gonna show me. You just gonna leave it down like that and surprise the whole world? Okay, all right. Oh, really?
Could
That
could
okay. Mm-hmm.
could Kim Kranz wrote her hand typing? Her hand printing is beautiful, but it is very very small, and I uh, I can't hold the menu out far enough to keep it clear.
We need that magnifying glass.
I believe this is still in the archetypes, and then the next card puts us in. Yes, the next card puts us in places. So this is the last archetype. So this is sort of like the world card for this deck. But it's called The One, and it's number 30. And Gerald, it says, The One is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense that this intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. all duality fades away, and we are left with what is the precious knowing that life is a gift, and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. That is a beautiful card. It is sort of like um, the sense of a oneness, aloneness in our journey here on Earth. But we all know that each and every journey is distinctly unique and cannot be experienced. Our journey cannot be experienced by another. We can have them along for part of the journey, but not the entire journey. And for your Oracle card, the Not a Unicorn deck says, not a wave, intensity. So this beautiful unicorn is made up of a crashing ocean wave. And I think just like the rhythms of the seasons, the lapping of the waves, um, it's not as instantaneous as counting of seconds, but it comes in more often than minutes. We probably have 7, 8, 9 sets of waves in and out in a minute with a normal tide without a storm going on. But the power of water is the intensity, and it can look like just a little bit of water, but if there's movement to that water, there is power to knock you off your feet. If there's a rip tide going, it's got the power to drag you out in the ocean, and you can swim and swim against the rip tide, but you're not getting anywhere. The ocean's dragging you out. You have to swim perpendicular to being pulled out. So you got to swim along the shoreline to eventually loosen the hold of the rip current, lest you get dragged deeper and deeper into it. And I don't know. I would say that would be going into a intentional denial instead of a comfort zone. Um, so that's what I have for the conscious portion of your reading, and Hershe will do the unconscious.
Hershe don't want to do it. No. Nope.
Not the tarot reader, not the oracle reader, not the.
I just literally cannot pass. I don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to say a huge disclaimer here. I am strictly just the messenger. Get your handy dandy book, Gerald. Here we go. So, what I want you to understand is what fell sideways. So, this is either personally for you in your subconscious, or this is attached to you through someone. Could be spouse, could be child, niece, nephew, sister, brother, parent, grandparent. Look, this is someone in your inner circle if it is not directly you. So the sigil that fell out is shame. Because it fell out sideways, it's not that they don't recognize it, it's just that they don't understand it for what it is. Now, if this is something that you yourself is personally dealing with, then I want you to understand that you as an individual are and will be headed straight for a tower moment. Ow! That's what I get. Okay. Yep. You're headed straight for a tower moment. Your intuition is about to have its whole foundation rocked, right? So when you look at it as a person where this could be your spouse or a parental authority figure, you're going to see this person as somebody that doesn't understand compassion and compromise as two different things, right? So the compassion was blocking the compromise, right? So this person doesn't see this as a trigger, as a bad thing. They don't understand that even when they break and break and break, they're learning to find new ways to break instead of learning to find new ways to bend. They're refusing to find compassion within something that needs to be addressed, right? So if it is you and it is your shame, somewhere in your subconscious, it will, once you dig and dig and dig and finally freaking find it, it's literally gonna. I don't want to be this person, but you're going almost probably immediately into a tower moment. Like you're gonna need to check the fuck out for a day or 5 or 15. Fuck, I don't know, but it feels like it's going to be like after you read the shame card and you realize that okay, it fell sideways, so that means it's directly tied to me, or it's so far in my unconscious that I don't even recognize it in my subconscious. So just please, please, please recommend it, recognize it. If at the end of it you realize that it is both yours and also someone that you desperately and gravely love, I need you to go to Sigil 76. When you get to Sigil 76, what I want you to understand is there is a huge deflection that is going with this sigil at the same damn time. It's literally running on autopilot in the back. What will happen? There's one of two things, but either way, it's going to happen. Both ways are going to happen. I just don't know which way it's going to happen. You're either going to find a new respect for scrutinizing things, or you're going to scrutinize things with a whole lot more respect because, we're human. We're still going to do things. But either way it goes, they're both going to go hand in hand. We're still going to have opinions. We're still going to think what we want to think. But you are going to have a whole lot more respect for something, or the person that is in seriously involved with misguided compromising for compassion and having compassion when they should not be compromising. They are going to have one hell of an awakening situation, and you're going to be there to help them because you love them enough to want to help them see them through all of the damn mud piles and mud puddles that they are playing in, thinking that it is crystal clear water when it is not. I'm so sorry that was your very heavy blind spot, but I really truly hope that it resonates. If it doesn't, I apologize again for being so off kilter, but just read and dig a little, and I think you might find all of us have perfect imperfections, and all of us do things, and we hide things so well. We sometimes hide them so well we can't find them when we go intentionally looking for them, and that's what I've got for you.
And Gerald also asked, what number is the
Look, I
shame card?
sweat on that one. I'm sorry, what?
What number is the shame card? I believe that was in the Osho Zen, was it?
It's the shame is the sigil, and that's number
Oh, the
33,
sigil.
and it's directly tied to sigil 76.
33 and 76. Okay. And I hope that answers your question, Gerald. Hershe and I have new tools available, but Hershe
You're
has
welcome.
an impending need to use hers professionally, but
That was
eventually,
heavy, y'all. That was heavy. That was heavy.
eventually, oh, MoeZayik had a direct message from Source regarding an approaching tower moment for her.
Gerald, I really do. You know, as somebody that for me, this deck is I wanted to do all kinds of things in life, but I knew one thing that wasn't going to escape me is understanding the human brain. I didn't expect to understand it the way that I do, but psychology and psychotherapy and all that psych, just my whole life has just reiterated around it. And no matter how much I do shadow work, no matter how much I try to be transparent, every time I give little pieces of me away, I find things that I was holding in that I literally thought I had healed years and years and years ago. And then I see something that not necessarily is being thrown in my face. It's more like it's calling me out, you know? And when I have to read heavy hitting cards like this, I have to expect you guys to want to see that vulnerability in me. And for someone like me that recognizes how hard it is to for one put us out here like this, there's a lot of people that can't do it. They can't put their indiscretions out there. They can't put their shadows. They can't put their bad, their ugly, what they think is wrong, right? They don't want that out there. They want everybody to think buttons and rainbows and shit, and that real life doesn't exist. But decks like these make you force you even to really dive into the psyche, the brain. It is so organically complicated that just to sometimes say simple words like Sigil 33, um it triggers people that are not balanced. If they get so out of whack because of one word, you immediately see the imbalance, because only usually the hurt, the shame, and the guilt makes you want to defend the action. So like I said, for me it wasn't comfortable because I literally deal with shame a lot. I have so much of it I wish I could take back, go back, look at myself like, don't do it, don't do it. And as I'm doing it, going, why am I doing this? But it makes it easier when it's received. So, Gerald, thank you. Thank you for not being unglued about one of the heavy hitters in this deck. And you have the deck, so you understand what I mean. This deck is not for the faint of heart. So, for those of you that were here, you did get a blind spot read. You guys are the true MVPs around here. Y'all just don't know it, Gems. Y'all just don't know it. Anybody that can step up to the plate for a blind spot, nobody knows what's coming. Boy, y'all is the goat, and we love you for that. I appreciate that, Gerald. Thank you. Boundaries are the theme lately. Isn't that a beautiful theme? Beautiful theme. Ooh.
So is it time to get some smoke in our oxygen system?
It is. It is. It is. Since Rossy's not gonna do a card pull for me and let me know what my MJ card is, I guess I'll just have to hold my breath for next week. I'm just talking shit, guys. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Like I said, Gerald, I heard some fabulous compliments about your show with Ramon. And I just love hearing that about us as a family. It makes me feel good. So again, you guys could have been anywhere, but you came here, you stopped in, and you hung out, and that means the world to Thomas and I. We don't expect you guys to be here, but yet you guys keep showing up every Wednesday, and you keep going through some pretty heavy emotions and some heavy hitting reads. So we appreciate you guys from the bottom of our hearts. What do you got coming up, Thomas?
What do I got coming up? Well, we're gonna be doing Spirit Box Saturdays, but that's definitely not a teacher mode thing for me. But I'm teaching Sunday, and we're at the 8 of Pentacles, so it's the work card. So roll up those sleeves and learn about the 8 of Pentacles if you want to fill out your tarot journal on the 8 of Pentacles. And anybody You don't even have to be a creator. If you have a specific card and you know what's coming up, go ahead and contact me, and you can be on the panel and add to the discussion. Or if you've got a card that troubles you, maybe we can have you on the panel and help explain the card to you.
Absolutely. So basically, I've got everything he just said. I've got Yawns on Friday. I've got Spirit Box on Saturday. Cannot wait for Spirit Box to come back. Class on Sunday. Meta messages on Monday, and then I'm with Gerald again on Tuesday. And Betsy and Hexa. So you guys, it is a reschedule because we went through a hurricane on the last one, and I didn't have power. So, ooh, she pulled strength. Ooh, oh my God, it's a dragon! Rossy, that's a sign I must have the deck. Okay, thank you. That answers my question. Thank you. All right, guys, it looks like we got a busy week. I've got a doctor's appointment next week, but I've also got a pretty special show coming up for Friday with Gerald and Brian from Blushing Nerd Tarot. So we're going to be doing some conversations about just some good old-fashioned wives' tales and superstitions. It's that time of year. It's getting close to the season of fun. So we're just going to have some fun and have some conversation. A fire dragon. That is even double confirmation. Oh, man. Bye, everybody.
Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and go out and make the rest of your night a great night, and make tomorrow a great tomorrow. Love y'all. Bye.
Good night, Deck.